Now, I do want to talk about the important down ballot races in each of these states. We'll start with North Carolina. How significant do you think it is that 8% of the Trump voters right now plan to support the Democrat, Josh Stein, for the gubernatorial race? And what does that suggest about, party loyalty at large in the state, given Trump's voters' ability to disconnect the down ballot races with the presidency?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think it does remain to be seen. We have to approach this with a little bit of caution because in 2020 we saw Governor Cooper win re-election fairly easily, while former President Trump won North Carolina by about 2 points. So, I I, I think that it is a potentially good sign for Harris here that Josh Stein has mounted a significant lead over Robinson. I think everyone would agree that there are issues with Robinson's campaign that are sort of outside of you know what we would normally expect, what we would normally control for. So there could be some significant crossing the aisle here by Trump voters to support Stein or perhaps skip the gubernatorial ballot entirely. I think that's a definite possibility. I definitely expect there to be fewer votes overall in that gubernatorial election. Um, but I don't know that that necessarily translates to Stein pulling up Harris, so to speak.
Mm.
So, yeah, I think there are folks out there who will refuse to support Robinson. I think some of that undecided vote that we see in there, that's going to be non-voters on the gubernatorial ballot. So I do expect that Stein will outperform Robinson here. Um, but whether that boosts Harris, I'm not sure. It doesn't hurt, that's for sure. But I expect there to be a pretty sizable difference between the presidential ballot and the gubernatorial ballot in North Carolina.
Interesting. So now looking at the Wisconsin Senate race, how do you interpret the tie between Hovde and Baldwin? And do you see any factors leading to a shift in support for either candidate at this point?
Not right now. These two races look very similar. I think that um, you know, overall, I would not want to be Hovde in this case. I think that we've seen this throughout the election that some of these Republican candidates can't perform as well as Trump at the top of the ticket. Whether or not that these voters again merely skip the Senate election or they vote Democrat, that kind of remains to be seen. But I would still handicap this race as Democratic.